Possibly. Do you guys eat meat?
A little bit.
Sometimes? Yeah. Did you know what was happening behind the scenes so that you could eat meat?
I had an idea.
You had an idea? If it was happening to you personally, if all of these things that are happening on this screen was happening to you, what would you want to happen?
Stop.
Would you want someone to rescue you?
Of course.
Would you want to be free?
Yeah.
Yeah. Now imagine someone's paying for that to happen to you. Do you have milk, for example?
No, don't like
So you're off dairy? Good
I
one.
eat cheese.
Well, cheese is dairy.
Yeah.
So do you know how they get cheese?
Yeah. Well, I've been being told.
So in order,
Oh, they got milk, but not.
okay, so
Well, then, yeah.
so in order to get cheese, you need to make a cow pregnant because they're a mammal.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I know all this.
Yeah.
It's like great things.
Do you think childbirth is easy or painful? Pushing a baby cow out.
Yeah.
It's a very painful process. Now, if the baby's a boy, the boy can't give milk.
Yeah.
So what do they do with the boy?
Set it free into a farm.
So they slit his throat. Is that worth it for a piece of cheese? So now that you know, how does that dictate your choices?
Well, I'm slowly, like, I'm not just gonna do it overnight. 'Cause
Yeah.
it's not good. But I'm starting to eat less meat and just doing it in a slow process.
Yeah. So what does that slow process look like for you?
Like once a week.
Once a week? Okay.
I'm not eating red meat anymore.
Yeah.
It's
Is it like fish or chicken?
yeah.
Yeah. Are
I
you?
want to come off them.
Yeah, I definitely understand because I used to eat meat. The last thing that I ate was chicken, right? So about 7 years ago, I went vegan because of this. I couldn't participate in this anymore. I looked at it and I just knew that it wasn't good for my heart, it's not good for my eyes. I felt a lot of guilt about this as well because I know full well exactly what's happening to all these animals just so I can get some protein powder, just to have a bit of cheese on a cracker.
Yeah.
You know, the clear process just to get that piece of cheese is so horrific that if you had to do it yourself, if you had to commit those acts yourself, would you do it? Right? So if you pay someone else to do it for you, you are still the participant.
Yeah.
Right? So imagine if you pay someone, you're on webcam, and you're going to pay someone because you get visual pleasure, not taste pleasure, but you get visual pleasure out of seeing someone kick a dog. You got the guy who abuses the animal, and you got the person who pays. Who's the participants?
Yeah.
Who are the abusers? It's the person on the...
Watching the screen as well.
Correct. So when you go and buy these products, who's the participant? Yeah. And is that the type of world you want to live in where all of these things are happening just so you can have meat once a week or cheese once a week? Yeah. And that's the dairy industry. So these are just baby boys.
How do you ensure that your veganism is completely ethical in itself and isn't causing human suffering?
Well, we can only do what we can do, right? So we research. So the veganism is about doing as minimal harm as humanly and practically as possible, right? So if I accidentally step on an ant, what can I do, right? But I'm not going to kick a homeless person. I'm not going to denigrate somebody based on racism or any other issue like that. It's about doing no harm. It's it's almost like a non-participation. So for you to be vegan, it's just about not buying something. Right? It's not buying something. So you don't have to do anything. You just have to not do something.
Yeah.
And then once you not do something, not attend a zoo, not attend a circus, not attend or purchase any type of animal product where their absolute suffering took place, then you're vegan. So when you go to a supermarket, you step to the right and there's your almond milk, rice milk, soy milk, oat milk. You can have a pizza just without, dairy cheese. You can have coconut cheese. You can put extra vegetables on it. You can have a pasta without chicken, but you put mushroom in there, and you're vegan. Or a plant-based. And if you do it for the right reasons, you're obviously vegan because once your reason's high enough, it'll help you dictate your choices in the future. Yeah. So these cows here, they're ex-dairy cows, and they've probably had 4 or 5 babies. And this actual footage is from Tasmania. Do you think they look scared?
Yeah, it's pretty sad now.
And they want to live, right? Now this one cow here is Tasmania, so she's survived the stunning process. And this is the next dairy cow. So all of that will happen for a piece of cheese. So next time you look at that piece of cheese, what will you do?
Think of that.
Yeah.
Say no.
Say no, right? And that's just, like, again, it's a non-action. And it's pretty simple to do once you realize what's at stake. Because if it was happening to you, you would want someone like us or others trying to fight for your freedom.
Yeah.
And if you become the perpetrator and the oppressor, then, you know, if I was being approached and I was non-vegan, I'd be the oppressor. I'd be saying, well, I hate this happening, but how can I be against something that I'm paying for? Do you know, do you eat eggs? Sometimes. So these are the boy chicks.
Sometimes, yeah, then
Yeah.
it's like sometimes I think about what I'm eating and it knocks me sick. So
Yeah.
like,
Yeah, so these are the boy chicks.
oh yeah, that was just me saying.
Yeah, so they get separated, they're either boy or girl. And the boys go onto the conveyor belt, and then they get ground up alive inside a macerator. Just for an egg, just so you can have an omelette.
It's like, we know meat for eggs are bad, and I don't really eat a lot of it.
Yeah.
But I guess you're going to hate this, but it's philosophical. If you're a hedonist, you'll eat it.
It's okay.
You don't care what you're going to, you don't care.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or if you're a nihilist, you'll eat it. You don't care.
Yes, if you're a nihilist.
21st century people, and although they might not know those terms, most of them are hedonist or nihilist. That's the battle.
Yeah.
Is being like, why would we give it up? Why would we do things better? Especially when there's so much human suffering as well. It's very low on people's priorities. How do we get that into people's heads? Like, this is why we should. How do we get that morality issue onto the police every day?
But you can't change the world, but you can change yourself, true?
But what's the end goal?
Well, the end goal...
By the way,
yeah.
I think there's no argument against veganism.
Yeah.
So I'm committed to it.
So, no, and you make some really good points, like what's the point? Because we're all going to go into the grave one day.
Yeah, but it's about, yeah, so you're saying if you make people watch this stuff die, I think you should.
We're all going to die one day.
Or would make a better choice.
Yeah, and all you have to do is to consider, when you get to the end of your life, did you cause more harm or did you save a life? Did you take a life or save a life? And how many lives did you take? And are you proud of taking that many lives? So when you look back, and you look back on all your life, and you think of all the people and all the beings that suffered for you, is that something you'll be proud of?
Yeah, I also was aware that probably not.
Yeah. So, and if the right, so if you get to the end of your life and you won't be proud of all of that, and you knew you could have saved a life, and you've got now and into the future, because there is no greater time to do it than now, then you can change your future and get to the end and have very little regret about everything that you've done because you've worked to save a life. And that's where we're at today.
Yeah.
So what I'm going to do is I'll give you a card. So this website here is called vegan22.com. And going vegan is quite easy because they will help you for 22 days to veganize everything that you eat. So for example, if you're having a pasta and you want to make fake meats, you can go to that website, sign up for 22 days and you get a free coach on how to do it. There's a lot of documentaries on here as well. Dominion is an Australian documentary. It's on YouTube and it's for free.
So that's specifically about the Australian meat industry?
Yeah, well, it's about, in general, but a lot of it is the Australian footage. There's Cowspiracy.
Cowspiracy, but that's it.
I haven't seen that actually.
Yeah, veganism is not a...
Oh no, sorry, I've seen
Yeah.
What the Health, that's about the heart.
Yeah, it's about the lying industry actually, yeah. You can see how many people are lying to you in order to get you to consume a product. There's another one called The Game Changers, which is a
Oh, that's
health-based...
the bodybuilder one, isn't it?
Yeah, very amazing. And if you go through all of these documentaries, by the end of it, it'll blow your mind. Another person to look up is Earthling Ed. He does a lot of debates on the street. And if you you know, even a fair and reasonable person, and you can sit and watch impassionately and just see both sides. It's a real eye-opener of what he teaches. So I'm going to give you this card.
Thank you very much.
My pleasure. We're anonymous for the voiceless, so you can find us online. AV Melbourne is on Facebook.
Okay. Brilliant. Thank you.
Thank you so much for the
Take care.
conversation. Bye-bye.